I know you're a massive Elton John fan.
I am an Elton John fan, yeah.
Elton John boots? These are original Elton John boots, as worn by him. They would suit you, sir.
Those are actually pretty cool.
Listen, hang on, let's just stop there. Do you think all the cool stuff's in Vegas? We've got the Beatles, we've got Queen.
We made the Beatles big.
Yeah, but we've got The Who, we've got Rolling Stones. We're cool, man.
We got Elvis.
Uh-huh.
And Johnny Cash.
Uh-huh. Elton John's so famous. He really is one of the starts of glam rock. Was one of the guys who started the 70s off with a kick. They're cool boots, they're fantastic, and I think they will look good on Rick. All the providences with them, everything.
When did he wear them?
I believe early 70s. You know, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Rocket Man.
Crocodile Rock?
Yeah. He wore them in that phase of his life with the big glasses, you know, and the big collars, the big flary trousers.
Elton John is right up there with David Bowie, The Who, The Kings. I mean, he was a massive, major player in the 70s. He was one of the few people that could actually sell out a stadium.
They would actually look good in Vegas. That's a Vegas thing, isn't it?
Yeah. How much you want for them?
£1,700.
1,700 pounds.
But I'll give you a discount because you're friends, so we'll do it for 1,600.
I'll give you 1,000 pounds for them.
Is that the jet lag?
No,
Are you jet lagged now, are you?
You know, I'm gonna have to pay to ship them home.
You know I love you, Rick, but you are a sometimes when it comes to money.
I mean, what's your best price on them?
Listen, we've known each other for a long time. £1,400.
All right.
And you know that's a bargain, man.
So it's a deal, 1,200 pounds.
Whoa! £1,400.
Meet me in the middle?
1,350.
1,300 pounds?
1,350.
1,300 pounds.
1,325, and that's the last thing. You can do it.
1,325?
Yeah.
1,325.
Come on.
All right. Big Mark is the typical pawnbroker. Of course, he's going to start high, but I'm not going to pay that because if I get him, I'm going to get him for a deal because I'm a pawnbroker. A better one. All right, you ready to go to Liverpool?
Yeah.
I got a car I think you'll be interested in.
What kind of car?
1970 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Let's go check it out.
You sit right there. You're not allowed to buy cars
Why not?
because you get too excited. Can you pull in my warehouse? There's no other product in the world that says luxury like a Rolls-Royce. I mean, these cars today cost more than a house. The price tag might seem crazy, but people have always paid it, and they always will. It's the beautiful thing about a Rolls-Royce. You know, when you see a Rolls-Royce, you know it's a Rolls-Royce. This is cool. It's a beautiful car.
Yes, it is. I am here to sell a 1970 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow that has been in storage for quite a few years. I have no doubt that to the right person, I will get top dollar for this car. Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet W.S. Holland.
How's it going?
Good to see you. How you doing?
I brought W.S. here for the provenance for this car.
What provenance?
This car was purchased by ABC Television as a gift to Johnny Cash as a result of the success of the Johnny Cash Show in 1969.
This belonged to Johnny Cash.
This belonged to Johnny Cash.
The Man in Black.
The Man in Black. And this gentleman here was Johnny Cash's drummer.
All right, I'm impressed.
My connection with Johnny Cash goes back a long time. In 1960, he called me to go with him just for 2 weeks, and it lasted almost 40 years.
So how often did Johnny Cash get driven around in this thing?
John actually used this car mostly if he was in town doing a TV show or a recording session. I guess maybe when he wanted to show off a little bit.
Did you ever drive this with Johnny?
I was one of the only people he trusted to drive it home.
That's pretty damn cool.
It's amazing. Now, this is kind of a funny story. The back window over there came down. It was cold. So we stopped at a service place, managed to get a piece of cardboard and some tape, taped it in that window, came down in a brand new Rolls-Royce with a cardboard window in it. I was the only person that stayed the whole time with him.
You must have seen some stuff.
He walked the line.
And what's the dollar figure you're looking for?
$350,000.
Ooh,
You could buy a new one for that.
But it wouldn't be Johnny Cash's car. I happen to believe that I've got the premier collectible of Johnny Cash in the world.
Let me call up a buddy of mine. He deals in like celebrity cars and stuff like this. Let me get him down here. Who knows what you could get.
No problem.
I don't doubt that this is Johnny Cash's Rolls-Royce. But when someone walks through the door asking this kind of money, I'd be stupid not to get a second opinion. Especially since it belonged to the man in black. A name like that will add value. I'm just not sure how much. Steve, this is Steve.
Good to meet you, Steve. I'm Steve, too.
W.S. Howard, good to see you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And there's no one I trust more when it comes to classic cars than my buddy Steve.
This is it.
Wow, Johnny Cash's Rolls-Royce, huh? Doesn't get much cooler than that. Yeah, this is nice. The Rolls-Royce always represented the higher echelon, even back, in the 20s, the 70s, and even today. I think the same type of guy drives a Rolls-Royce. Can we pop the bonnet?
Absolutely.
I love saying that,
Yeah.
don't you? Wow.
I mean, the first thing I can tell is this motor's never been out of this car. Definitely looks like a survivor under here. It's in amazing condition for its age. Wow, all original leather. This was top-of-the-line stuff. It's remarkable. Is there a way we can drive it to see how it runs and performs and all that?
Sure. Carefully.
And I'm driving.
All right, shotgun.
I love Johnny Cash, and to be driving his Rolls-Royce is pretty amazing. I'll try not to drive it into a ring of fire. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I gotta admit, I mean, this thing really drives well for a 1970 car.
31,000 original miles.
All right, well, you guys have fun talking about the whole car thing. I got things to do, all
Rockstar.
right?
All right.
All right.
Put the damn window down. Put
Yeah.
I am
I
not
can't
driving
hear
around
you.
this way.
I mean, the headliner, this mohair or whatever this is amazing condition.
I know on the new Rolls Royces you can order cashmere headliners, lamb's wool.
Excuse me,
floor mats.
driver, can you keep it down a little bit? I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Put the window down.
I can't hear you.
For a 1970 car, it felt pretty solid. It felt like a tank, actually. It really did. It was a pretty cool car.
I'll tell you what, it drove really good. I gotta give you that. If I buy this off him, how much do you think I can get out of it?
Of course, Johnny Cash owned this car, so, we're talking about kind of a big push there in the hype, but I don't know if you know about this. Last year, another 1970 Rolls-Royce owned by Johnny Cash went through auction for $49,500. We have to take that into account. So I've got to put it about that same area at $50,000.
The car you're talking about was a maroon limousine, longer car than this. Johnny Cash never owned the car. Johnny Cash never saw the car.
Hey, well, the fact is that the people, if it was in an auction and everyone at the auction believed it was Johnny Cash's,
Yeah.
that's what a Johnny Cash car would be worth.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, my pleasure.
Okay.
And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Hey, my
It really
pleasure.
was.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Steve.
gentlemen, very much.
Well, that's disappointing.
I mean, when you said 350, I had my doubts. That's why I called him in here.
Someone who is going to purchase this car is going to be a high-end collector.
Tell me, what's your bottom dollar on the car?
Oh,
Because if you say 50,000, I'll buy it.
well, no, that's not going to happen. I don't think I could take less than $200,000 for this car.
We're obviously not going to make a deal, but it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure.
And it's been an honor, sir.
Been
An
my
absolute honor.
pleasure, my honor.
We are probably going to take it to auction where a collector of Johnny Cash will pay a fair price for this car.
What do you got?
I've got a very special bottle of wine I want to sell today. One of the best in the world. 1970 Pétrus Pomerol.
Looks fancy.
And women say it's a real turn-on, from what I read.
Okay.
I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my very good and rare bottle of wine. Found it in my dad's office. Average world price is about $2,500. I'm not a wine connoisseur. I need the money.
It's a Bordeaux wine. All that basically means is it was made in the Bordeaux region of France. Just like Burgundy isn't Burgundy unless it's in the Burgundy section of France. Quite frankly, I can't tell the difference between a $40 bottle of wine and a $1,000 bottle of wine.
If you pop that cork, I bet you can.
There is as many different wines, son, as there is cars.
Well, I know there's a million different wines. There's a million different ways to age them.
What makes a good wine is a good grape. You're gonna have the climate, you're gonna have the soil and the proper amount of rainfall.
So apparently, this particular wine and region had perfect conditions.
Okay, and that's why you have some years that, you know, this year is great, this year is better.
Right.
It's because, just because of weather conditions and everything else, some years the grapes come out perfect, some not as perfect.
A good wine is improved with age. I wish the same could be said about my son. He gets worse the older he gets.
And how much did you want for it?
At $2,500 world average price, I don't think you can go wrong at 16. There's not a collector out there worth his salt if you don't have one of these in the collection.
Yeah, my only problem is the city won't let me buy it anymore. It's just, I can't buy wine because I'm not a liquor store. It happened a while ago. I mean, we tried to explain it's collectibles. They said no.
I wasn't aware of that regulation, but as a private citizen, I don't see any problem.
I
in
could.
you buying that?
As far as me buying it, I ain't never spent $1,600 on a bottle of wine, and I never will.
You can't go out to the back and buy a bottle between friends.
No.
That's a gray area, sir. I won't jeopardize my license for anything.
I'm not going back with the wine. So I'm asking you to try to figure out something for me. Private citizen, you can buy it.
I just can't buy it myself. Thanks for coming in, Ben.
All right. Total waste of time, total waste. I'm gonna end up drinking it myself.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I got something you might be interested in. Got a
Okay.
1970 Heuer Autavia, and it's a Joe Siffert edition.
Siffert, yeah.
Formula One
Yeah, he was
race car.
Yeah, this is cool. He's still listed as like one of the greatest race car drivers of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He was a Swiss guy.
Yep.
Yeah,
The Swiss Steve McQueen.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
The watch was my dad's. He bought it brand new back in 1970 and keeps perfect time. The watch is in real good condition. It's mostly been sitting in a box. I wear it every now and then. You know, I'd like to maybe get a new dirt bike, and don't tell anybody that, but
This is a pretty amazing, cool watch. It's pretty rare. And the reason these are pretty rare is these weren't popular watches. It was only the hardcore race fans buying watches like this because the speedometers were not really accurate. But if you had mile markers on a road and you had an accurate stopwatch in your car, you could figure out exactly how fast you were going. And that's the neat thing about watches, because he wore the same model. He didn't wear this one, but he wore this model. That's what gives it 80% of its value. There's something really cool about Heuer watches from the 60s and the 70s. Everybody loves them. Steve McQueen wore one in the movie Le Mans, ended up selling for over $800,000. Now tell me, did you replace the band? Or did he get it this way?
I think he must have replaced it. I mean, he wore it a lot, and I know, he had all kinds of different bands. And
The original band on this is very distinct.
right.
It really hurts the fact that you don't have the original band. But I love it that you have the paperwork with the original serial number on it. So often you'll see these things, they'll have the original paperwork, but it's not filled out.
Right.
How much you want for it?
I was looking to get 12,000.
That's tough. I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can make a deal with you, okay? And if we can make a deal, I will go pop the back and make sure everything's correct. I just want to make sure it's the original movement from that time period.
All right.
Okay? I just don't want to take it apart, do all this work, and then you say no to my price. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like $7,000.
$7,000. How about I could probably do 10?
All right.
I mean, it's got all the original stuff. I got the original box.
It doesn't have all the
And,
original stuff. It doesn't have the original band. That is a very big deal.
And could you do 9?
I'll go 8. I have to find someone to buy it. I got to do all the work.
How about 85?
I'll go 8,000.
Yeah, I can do 8.
Okay. All right. Just remember, I'm going to go take the back off and make sure everything's legit. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Be right back.
All right. I'm feeling pretty good. That was probably the least amount I'd take for it, and it seems like a fair price. I know he's back there somewhere taking apart the watch. I'm probably more nervous he'll break something, but no, I know it's legit. I'm pretty confident about that.
Okay. We have a problem.
Oh.
But apparently it's going to be my problem, not yours. I'll take the risk. Obviously, he never had it serviced because the back will not come off.
Oh no.
This thing is stuck on there.
Yeah, it's probably been at least 25 years.
I don't foresee there being a problem, but if there is, I'm screwed.
I'm really happy he's still stuck to the deal, even though he couldn't get the back of the watch off. Hopefully we'll, be out in the desert racing a new dirt bike next week.
Hey, how can I help you?
I got these vintage 1970s Snoopy memorabilia music boxes.
You would have liked playing with these when you were a kid, wouldn't you?
Where's the remote control?
I came to the pawn shop today to try and sell my Snoopy and Red Baron music boxes. My kids don't know who Snoopy is, so figure they're not doing any good in this box. I'd like to get maybe $150 for the pair. We'll see what they say.
How old are these things?
Probably early 70s.
Snoopy was big right around that time. Like the Snoopy specials started coming out on television.
Christmas specials and the Great Pumpkin and all
Yeah.
that stuff. What I like about these things is, Snoopy was always in his little imaginary world.
Yeah, Snoopy used to climb on top of his doghouse and fantasize that his doghouse was a plane and he was fighting the Red Baron.
Oh, you know what's always good about Peanuts is adults never spoke.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah,
Wah, wah, wah, wah.
That's what you sound like.
Snoopy was one of the characters drawn by Charles Schulz in the comic strip Peanuts. It ran in newspapers around the world for about 50 years. It's considered the most popular comic strip ever. People still love Peanuts, so there's definitely a great market for vintage toys like these. I mean, I love the quality of the toys they made. They're all wood.
Do they play music?
Yes, technically. Spin the propeller here.
What do we got? This one doesn't even work. You got a few problems here. The music box doesn't play and the tail's broken off. This thing in great shape is worth a few $100, but unfortunately, in that shape, it's worth nothing.
How about the Red Baron here?
The Red Baron.
He's looking pretty good.
You know what? If Snoopy was in great shape, I'd buy the Red Baron right off you. Together, they make a really great pair. But I'm not going to be able to sell the Red Baron unless I got a Snoopy to go with it.
Right.
And I don't have a Snoopy to go with it. I got a broken toy. It's just not good enough shape for a toy collector.
Maybe make me an offer?
I'm not even going to make you an offer because it's not going to sell with that piece broken off the back. Plain and simple.
All right.
And if I did buy him, this guy probably would just break it
You
even
would
worse.
play with it.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you anyway. Appreciate it. I thought they were worth something, but he didn't. But I guess I'm just going to put him back in the box, and he'll sit for another 20 years, I guess.
How can I help you?
Hi, I have old documents from the Pentagon from 1972 to early 1973.
You weren't a spy or anything, were you?
No, not at all.
We shouldn't call Homeland Security or anything like that?
I came to the pawn shop today to sell my Pentagon daily reports from the 1970s. I have 5 children, 2 in college, and could use the money. I'm hoping it's rare coverage that people haven't heard about, and I'm hoping they could be worth a lot of money.
Where did you get these?
At a yard sale.
Seriously? What are they?
Well, I don't know a lot about them. There's all kind of information about Vietnam. There's information about the Olympics. Something happened in the 72 Olympics that was an issue, and there were details about that in there.
There was a bunch of terrorist attacks during the Olympics in Munich.
Okay.
Is there anything about aliens?
I don't know.
This is USSR International Affairs Vietnam Developments. I mean, it sounds like stuff they wouldn't want, like, the media to know about. I mean, the general public.
I mean, you never know what could be in these. I mean, you can find out who killed JFK in here.
That would be cool. Then you would have something.
Yeah, I don't think I want it then.
Without sitting down and reading all these documents, I have no idea what's in them. But it's clearly from the Pentagon. And they're discussing Vietnam, terrorism, and all the crazy stuff going on in the early 70s.
If you look on almost every page, Lieutenant Colonel Morgan is written on each page. That's who we think these
Okay.
were given to.
As far as I know, you're not supposed to be taking volumes of paper from the Pentagon and bringing them home. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to have these.
Well, you may have them if I'm not allowed.
No, if you're not, no one's allowed to have them. I don't want
I don't
them.
want them either.
Matter of fact, I don't want mine. Let me call someone down here and
Let's
find
do
out what
that.
the deal is with these, all right?
That would be great.
I have no idea how these documents ended up at a yard sale. It's one of the most odd things I've run across in the past few years. Mark, how's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. We have reports from the Pentagon. We're just assuming there's stuff from Watergate, the Gulf of Tonkin, JFK, some UFO stuff. We're not sure exactly all that's in here, but...
Minor little things? Cool. I specialize in historical artifacts, militaria, aviation. After 35 years of running museums, there isn't a lot that I haven't seen. What concerns do you have about them?
Are they rare, and are they legal to own?
Okay, do you mind if I take a look at them?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay, these are, in fact, daily reports. They were put out by the Federal Broadcast Information Service. What these were for was to allow people who were interested within the Pentagon to know what was being said in foreign markets. And the idea was we had somebody listening in to all the foreign radio and television and then transcribing everything they heard. What was being said on the political scene during the '72 election, for example, and that's George McGovern and Richard Nixon. How were they reporting that in, say, North Vietnam? That was important for planning. And it took thousands of people to translate this stuff, and they still do them today. What's interesting here is this is the PSYOPs copy, the Psychological Operations Division. This was the group that would try to get stories planted to help change opinion to be more positive towards the United States. And what's neat here is the person that was getting this was DOXA, the Deputy Director of Operations for Counterinsurgency and Special Affairs. He would have been the one that was in charge of, you know, kind of taking this information and using it as part of the planning for what we were going to do in terms of psychological operations, probably in Vietnam, but in other places. The Vietnam War was fought as much on the television screens and on the radios and through PR and the media as it was on the battlefield. This is kind of neat because it's the original one and it was to PSYOPs. They're not common in the hard copy. And this is typical binding that you would have used in a Pentagon office at the time. You know, yeah, there are probably not many of these out there. The FBIS reports, though, were not classified reports. And because of that, it's openly available today. Yes, they're legal to own, so they're not secret.
Okay, good.
So you're okay on that. This was just public radio, public television. They would intercept all of that and translate this stuff. But, you know, they're not the sort of thing that a lot of people would collect, you know, that they would hold on to. It's been copied, it's in public collections, it's not rare. You can go to the library and look up and read everything on every one of the pages.
Thanks, Mark.
Not a problem.
You're the best.
I was completely relieved when the expert told me that it was illegal and I was allowed to have them, but very disappointed because he said they're not rare. So I take it you're not going to give me any money for these?
They're not rare, they're not collectible, and it's all public knowledge. I just wouldn't want to make an offer on them. I just don't see no money here at all. At least we found out a little bit about them.
Yes, thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
I knew it was a long shot, but I was really hoping there would be something incredible in this collection. Hey, at least I don't have to worry about getting tossed in jail. Hey, how can I help you?
I have a thing for you.
What kind of thing?
A 1974 Volkswagen thing.
Can you drive it out back real quick?
I can do that for you.
Great, come on.
What, you can't handle this by yourself?
No, you gotta see this car, come on. This guy just happens to have one of my favorite cars. I can't wait for Corey to check it out. Come on in.
Here it is, guys. My 74 Volkswagen thing. I guarantee you'll have more chicks looking at this car than any exotic, bar none. How's that sound?
Completely unbelievable.
I came down to the pawn shop to sell my 74 Volkswagen thing. I have a high school junior son. He's going to college soon, so it's time to sell this and get him a truck. I'm gonna be asking 15, but maybe my least is maybe 11 or 12.
It's a Volkswagen thing. It was a great, great car. It was my first car, and I loved it. My dad actually bought a Volkswagen thing and gave it to me when I was 16.
So how much did one of these things cost new in 1973?
$1,999.
I see why the old man bought it. He's inherently cheap.
The Volkswagen thing was sort of copied off some of the World War II vehicles that Volkswagen made for the German army.
Why was it called the Thing?
There was no other car in the world that really looked like it. It was a weird-looking thing, so they called it the Thing. Believe it or not, they were a military vehicle in some countries.
Military must have sucked.
So what all have you done to it?
All new interior, carpeted. They didn't come carpeted. And then I designed the paint scheme.
You made it the way you like it. It doesn't necessarily make it worth more money.
Then we upgraded the motor to a 1915 dual-carb Weber.
So how much horsepower do these things get?
50 to 55 horsepower now.
All right. Do you mind if I take it for a spin?
Sure, go ahead. I've never had anybody else drive my thing, so I'm kind of hoping they come back with a smile on their face.
So what do you think, son?
It's the stupidest vehicle I've ever seen, and I'm cold.
You just have no style.
I hope no one sees me in it.
I remember it was like pure freedom when I got this thing. That's why I love this car. I actually want it. But I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried about all the changes he made. I'm worried that those changes will make it even harder to sell. So the price has to be reasonable.
Okay, guys, what'd you think?
Well, it definitely brought back memories, I'll tell you that. So how much do you want for this thing?
15 grand.
Here's my problem with it. The paint job, all the carpet, you change too much around.
I think you like it the way it is.
No, I will want this thing bone stock.
So what are we talking then?
I go 5 grand, because it cost me another 5 grand to turn it back yellow and ugly looking like it isn't originally.
I don't think I'll sell it to you if you're gonna turn it back into yellow ugly. 13.5.
I've wanted one of these for years. I just haven't got around to buying one. But 5,500 is most I'd go.
I'm gonna have to turn that down today.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
The $5,000 mark just isn't gonna do it for me today. It won't get my son into a new truck.